tell you. Maybe one of those days. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the good news, the bad news, and the other shit. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, as the beat goes on, everybody knows that the showdown is coming, and they are essentially, everyone's holding their breath. What we're seeing is the drawing of the lines. Who's going to support the president, no matter what? Those who are, and even though the ones, you wonder if they really is, if it's really a ride or die thing, Vic, or when it gets close or so bad, will they bail on the president? Well, it looks like you may get that chance. We know that a showdown is approaching because of the Mueller investigation, the interviews, and we know that it's already being discussed, that they've already discussed, which is really mostly a formality because he can subpoena the president, but out of the courtesy of the office, whatever, traditionally, they at least discuss with Mueller the president being interviewed. So we know that they've already had those initial meetings. Trump knows that he's going to be interviewed. He may not know the scope of the interview because it looks like Ty Cobb and the other folks are being very careful, at least on their end, of the impressions they present to the president of where everything sits. Maybe to prevent a meltdown, keep him calm.
Right.
But one of the recurring rumors, it's only a matter of the degree to which you think it occurs and the degree to which you believe it, is that they at least want to give the president, you could say in a political way, good news, keep him in positive spirits, whatever, even that as he approaches this. But the reality is that they know that the president, because of his inability to have consultants train him, because of his inability to listen to his experts, that when he goes into an interview session, he is always a liability because he already has said and will say more things. You can imagine to his legal team, the idea of him having to give testimony is scary and horrific because the president's going to come in there and give that testimony. And they know he's going to say something wrong. He doesn't like to be prepped. Can you imagine, Vic, if you were going to be going before this kind of a committee, they would want, the attorneys would be wanting to prep you for hours a day, right? You could just guess yourself, 4 to 8 hours a day, 4 to 6 hours a day for days. Prepping you. They would actually do mock situations where they would ask you the questions. Like they were the other attorney. You think the president's going to sit through any of that?
Is he the first to do this?
No, but he's the first one who'd have this attitude. So the other ones seem typically, like for example, Bill Clinton, they all have legal training. So that's different. The president is wanting to wing it.
Now my question becomes this. Hasn't he always been around the rich, the powerful, and the politicians?
Yes.
So they already knew who he was. There's no surprise here. Everybody knew who he was. There's no secret. We never knew Donald was like this. They're only saying, can he acquiesce to the rules and guidelines of being a president?
You're talking about who's the day you're talking
Republicans, his supporting base, all the people.
Not the attorneys.
Everybody who supported him to get here knew who Donald was, right? We all said
I would say this. He has shocked everybody, though, at how bad he is. So they obviously didn't know everything.
These people he's worked both sides of the aisles. He's done both. He said it. He says, I supported Democrats, I did Republicans. He does the soirees, the whole thing. I said, how long does it take for you to talk to somebody to find out where they stand at and their competency and how they go about doing things? And the Republicans know this. That's not my question. My question is this, twofold. Is there a secret society? Number two, I'm just saying this.
I think there's a society. It ain't so secret.
Wait.
There's a special society. It ain't no secret either. It ain't no. We know they are.
Wait. So
shit, it ain't a secret.
Right. So
go check into a hotel. You'll find out
right,
what society you in.
So if it's secret or not, what difference does it make? Okay, if they got the power, they got the power. My second thing is, this is a question. So what are the Democrats doing in the meantime? What is the big thing that they are now going to come out? Just to say goes their way. It swings to, we get into 2020. Everything starts moving towards, them having control and everything. I said, so what is their brand identity now? Have they even talked about it? Other than the same thing, which... I
always have to remind people out there, and I do regularly, that I'm not a Democrat, so I never can defend their position.
Right.
I'm not in the business of defending their position. I actually am one of those people who indict their position. I've indicted both parties.
Right.
I said that what the Democrats are displaying right now is how they too are unable to make decisions and define themselves.
Right.
They're totally in flux. What the two parties had in common was that they had factions that were actually different, which is why I, as an indie, was saying we need to move beyond a two-party system.
Right.
But whatever, okay, say you do want to have the two-party system. The point is, in both sides, you have factions that are extremely separate and distinct.
Right.
And they can't come out with a program that grabs them. Half the Democrats that are more leftist want a attack on Trump, very clear battle lines drawn. Then you have moderate people that are in the Democrats that don't want to do any of that.
Right.
And they're split.
Right.
Okay, they're split about everything, from immigration to everything. And they're viciously split.
Right.
It's like the more conservative Democrats versus the left. And the Republicans have the exact same problem, and that they've been taken hostage. The thing to take note of, to me, in a scary kind of way, is to be clear and look at what the people are saying. I went back and looked at my Hitler literature.
Right.
Because what you needed to understand is when societies go crazy. American society is going crazy. That 32% that's holding in there, you need to understand. They were ride or die.
That's right.
They are ride or die. That's why it ain't nothing. But they don't care what. Like he said, 32, it ain't dropping, right?
No.
It's ride or die.
Right.
So you need to understand that's the way the lines are being drawn. The wonderful thing about this, to me as the leftist person, is I get to stand back, and because they've drawn the lines, to me, we get to watch the world move forward. See, what happens is, because Trump is so bad, the response to this is going to move the whole world forward. Trump is actually going to move the whole world forward as they respond to his ass. And that's the real reality of it. And that's the way that it really happens. The big advances, as I said before, don't come out of times where it's wonderful. Maybe some health care stuff, nice little you voted in.
Right.
I'm saying struggle makes you make choices. And the American public looks like, to me, along with the people internationally, are for the most part, making the right choices. For the most part, most people, to me, are making the right choices. So we know that we're headed into a showdown.
Of course. Yep.
So we're going to see.
Yeah.
The president against the and they're out there. But if you want to be clear, study Germany and how they how Hitler managed to come in. Was saying who he was mobilizing the German people against, the way he attacked Jews in Germany. Look at the similarities to the issues that we have with immigration and the ways that you appeal to these groups who then go crazy and take control of everything, while other folks go silent or near silent.
Right.
Which is the big problem too.
Right.
All right.
Absolutely.
I'm Mario Hemsley. Everybody, that's the good news. The bad news and the other shit.